Hey, welcome to Caching in the Northwest. You know, this is the podcast from the birthplace of geocaching right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific, and you found the Fort Knox of geocaching gold. I'm your host, Chris of the Northwest, and we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're spotting a sasquatch ordering a cappuccino in Ballard, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Yes, indeedy. It is Thursday night. I'm Wits End. I'm glad you're here. And tonight, well, we've got some fun things to talk about. If your geocaching spark, maybe it's dimmed a little bit, maybe it's even gone out completely. This episode is your friendly nudge, just gentle nudge right back onto the trail. We're joined by Limax, and we're going to explore many ways cachers can rediscover the joy, curiosity, and community that made them fall in love with the game in the first place. So whether you've taken a short break, a long hiatus, or you just need a fresh dose of inspiration, we're diving into practical ideas and heartfelt stories to help you rekindle that geocaching flame. But we can't get started until we introduce our third co-host. Astute viewers will notice a repeat substitute. What is it? Pseudo stand-in monkey tonight. It's time to bring in our happening host. Some say she talks so fast she wears flame-proof lip gloss, and others say she's run out of phone books to rip in half. All we know is she's called JT Coffee.
Hello. I am definitely going to use the flame-proof lip gloss. It is so good to be back. I'm standing in for Jay Land Monkey. He was on one of his many amazing adventures, and I'm so glad to help co-host tonight. This is so much fun. Wonderful.
All right. Well, and we're glad Limax is here too.
Hello.
Thank you. I don't want to leave you completely in the dark and the silence there.
I'm used to it.
Okay. Well, now that we're all welcomed and feeling right at home, let's take a quick moment and say that we appreciate the support of our patrons who help to keep this podcast coming each and every week. Thanks to Land Sharks. They're one of our corporate Denali level sponsors. Whether it's new containers or caching gear or just about anything you need in the geocaching world of merchandise, if there's something you want to get your geocaching on, order it online today from landsharks.ca. I also like to thank Cachely. It is the premier geocaching app for iOS. Version 8.1 with Cachely Pro features offline maps of the entire world. You can navigate while offline. You can do DeLorme and counties and all those kind of stuff. You can finish all those grids. And hey, CarPlay support is here in 8.1. There's even more stuff coming in 8.2, 8.3. We talked about it on the previous episode. Go check it out. You can find Cachely, though, right now in the iOS App Store, or you can go to cachely.com. And finally, we'd like to thank Valemount Tourism. Welcome to Valemount, where every season offers its own unique adventure. It's nestled in the mountains and surrounded by towering peaks, lush forests, and pristine rivers. It provides endless opportunities for year-round exploration, some warmer than others, some colder than others, but all of them with an unknown level of funk. So whether you seek outdoor thrills or a peaceful retreat, Valemount awaits you. If you want to know more about supporting this here show, click the Patreon link. It's over on the CachingNW.com website.
Thank you so much. And it wouldn't be a show if we didn't ask a question.
What would that be?
My question I always like to ask is, what is a glow? You know, many people have asked me that.
I keep asking, and I keep not getting a straight answer.
Wet Coaster wants to know what a glow is.
Why, thank you.
What is a glow?
Giraffes looking over water.
The dewy look you have on your face when you wake up moisturized.
Oh, there you go. Gonna take your word on that.
I'm not sure if I'd really want to wake up moisturized. I'm not sure what would happen in the middle of the night then.
That's your skincare routine that you put on before you go to bed so that you wake up ready to go with the glow you do.
It means your tent blew away and it's raining.
For this show, It means the geocaching log of the week.
Ah, yes, there's that too.
That one. That one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I knew it was one of those things.
That kind.
So whether you read it or whether you wrote it, we want to hear about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. You can send an email or a recording to feedback@cachingnw.com. You can also call into 253-693-TFTC and show us just how you glow. In fact, we have a person who's emailed us a glow because that is the most common way we get glows.
It is.
So, Wits End, are you you know what? No, I'm not going to have you read this. You read them every week. Let's have the author of this glow read it. Limax, would you take the honor of reading your own glow?
Take it away.
I probably think I probably could. Yes. This was Cache GC Alpha Whiskey 6 Victor Juliet, all over but overlooked. And it reads as follows. Was in the neighborhood and decided to do a bit of caching. I spotted where this one might be even before I parked. Upon inspecting the place in question, I noticed it right away. However, it was proving troublesome to remove and had to resort to a tot to get it out. This was being observed by a muggle neighbor sitting in his car nearby. When I had extracted it, he wondered if I was fixing the place in question. I told him that I was geocaching. He then proceeded to tell me how his car had been hit and run over by a driver that knocked his car into the hiding spot in question. This is on a blind curve. Logged, signed, and replaced.
Yikes.
I do remember this one now that I've read it. Yeah, this was actually in the neighboring town from me, and kind of up in the hills on the south end of town. And yeah, it's a blind curve up and around a corner.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Dangerous.
yes. I think let me see. I was probably actually going after a challenge at that point, if I remember correctly.
So you would say this is not a great location to hide a cache just because of the blind corner.
I would say so. I would say that the parking can be a little bit in question. However, this was a residential neighborhood.
Okay.
So there were houses along both sides, and this was, if I remember correctly, this was on a telephone pole. So I think it was in the slit of the telephone pole, or behind the yellow bands. I can't remember which, but it was that sort of a location. Oh no, I know what it was. It was a DNA tube stuck in one of the holes that forms on them.
Yep.
Classic.
Yeah. And that's how come I was able to spot right. I was like, oh yeah, but you need to watch about where you're parking for this particular cache. I mean, you would be safe enough on the sidewalk. One would hope.
Right.
Theoretically.
Under normal circumstances. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was just actually in reading this. It's like, okay, by a hit and run driver. That's what it's supposed to read. Yeah.
Gosh.
So I could, this was a couple years ago. I think I found this one at this point.
Hopefully the CO can put a note, helpful parking coordinate waypoint. That would really help.
Yeah, it would be nice. I know some COs can be lazy.
Well,
so
it's true.
Yeah.
Hey, I see we have Tricassius joining us from
welcome.
Gilby.
Well. Hello, Tricassius. It's very late there, but not as late as it used to be.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's getting darker earlier these days. We're going to talk with them about Gilby coming up in like a month and a half.
Oh, so fun.
I just wanted to say hi and mention.
Yeah, that's great.
And apparently there's some danger, Will Robinson.
Yes.
Excellent throwback. Good reference.
So, folks, tonight we're talking about rekindling the flame of your geocaching love. If you want to get involved, use the hashtag love. Put it right there in the chat, and we will answer your question. Of course, you can use the hashtag FATAS if you want to ask about or you want to mention something in the after show or for the after show. That's the FTAS, just in case you're new. These letters are confusing. They are to me too, and I'm trying to read them.
Is it English?
And of course, you can always jump into our Discord server. You can go find that link on the cachingnw.com website.
Oh yeah, I meant to post in there today. I did that last week. I did not do that this week. Yeah, that's a fun place to be. It's nice that it's asynchronous, so you can, if you miss the show, you can still talk about things in there. That's always great. And bring up off-topic things, because it's always fun to have a place for off-topic things. I have a few FATAS things. I have to, if I was in the chat, I would be FATASing. I have my own analog FATAS for today.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually made that as a suggestion for the Discord server because back when I was able to listen to podcasts, I was not listening live. Yeah, I was, I'm, choir Thursday's choir night, so I'm never here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's only when Chris asks very nicely that I have a tendency to show up.
We don't have a FATAS channel.
That's a great addition. You can just note to self, reminder of future FATASes or just random off-topic things. That's really fun.
Now, we do have a channel for each of our episodes, so you could stick a FATAS in that episode, but I'm going to go make just a standard channel called FATAS.
That's a great plan. And while you are working on that, you can start also marking your calendars. I like to mark calendars as I remind myself of upcoming things. We've got new treasure collections that are happening. I'll wear my lackey hat for briefly. There is a lot of feedback that people want to know when the treasures are coming and what they are. And so we're starting to do that more. Okay, take that off. They're coming soon. Geocachers can look forward to 2 of them in February. 2 of them, and 2 of them in March. There are themes and new collections. Let's see, for February, there are fast food erasers that you can collect. Turns out this is a whole thing. As we know, geocachers love collecting things, and people love collecting all kinds of little things. There is it's a whole community that collects these little erasers that are little tiny objects, and so we picked fast food for this particular one, and they're very, very adorable. And there's 4 treasures in that collection that you can collect. The criteria for that is finding and logging non-event caches with at least 1 favorite point, and the difficulty is either 2 or 2.5. Specifically, not at least, but specifically 2 or 2.5. And you can get yourself these little adorable French fries that are just really, really, really cute. February 17th is when those are happening. So soon. And then the next one is also in February, dinosaurs. I love finding toy dinosaurs in caches, and I love that this has been moved into a treasure collection theme. There's 5 different dinosaurs that you can collect. Those you can get by logging multi-caches, mysteries, or earth caches. And they also drop on the 17th. So
nice.
Start making your lists. They're very, very cute. I've seen them. And then in March, to look forward even beyond into when the days are getting longer and you've got some more things to, hopefully more caches to find. The first one is cats. These are very cute. So, yeah, I'm glad Kitty Quest likes those. They are very, very cute. And they are... people really loved the dog figurines. And so we're like, we've got to, and then we even got emails saying, how about cats? And it's like, okay.
and so goldfish coming up soon too, right?
It's ferrets, gerbils. I mean, really options are endless.
I think you should do different types of slugs.
Perfect. I mean, we really could get somewhere with like assorted mollusks. I think that would be really fun. So the criteria for cats, as you're building lists and perhaps writing things down and thinking these through and planning your routes and caches and cache outings, traditionals, multis, mysteries with a difficulty of 1 through 3, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. Get yourself a cat. That is traditional, mystery, or multi. So not virtuals, not earth caches. And March 17th is when those drop. Also on the 17th are geomobiles, which is kind of a fun little take on, this is a thing we refer to geomobiles in our logs. When you load into the geomobile or you park the geomobile, you find safe parking for your geomobile, for example. And this is just a fun take of if you could build a geomobile to suit your geocaching needs, what could they possibly look like? So they're pretty fun. There's 5 treasures in that collection, and it is caches with the park and grab attribute.
Oh, so it's not like one of these things with a bunch of little pieces hanging over the crib of your infant geocacher.
Right.
Not that kind of geomobile.
Not a mobile. Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes. It's a geomobile, as if you're like an automobile. I don't know what the emphasis would be there.
This isn't a throwback to the old traveling cache then either.
Right. It is truly like, what if you were to have a car that would take you caching or could look like a cache, something like that. They're pretty fun.
Not a geomobile.
Okay, it's not geocaching in a Alabama town.
Right.
That's
Mobile.
Yeah. And it's not a
geomobile in Mobile.
And it's not a geomobile.
At a gas station, yeah.
Right. Or on your mobile phone.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
I think the Ghostbusters mobile from the last movie where the seat came out of the side, so you could easily get those parking grabs. Yeah,
that's a great plan. There's a cool virtual cache at that fire station where the Ghostbusters were in New York. It's really fun.
How about, wouldn't something like that work best on the ET highway though?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Or one that has like a reacher grabber attached so that you could get it and bring it back in.
Right.
Power trails. Yep,
Power trails.
exactly.
There you go.
Exactly what Brian Lang said. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Apparently Ontario used to have geocaching license plates, but they weren't trackable.
That is
true. No, they just had the logo on them.
Yeah.
I have seen them. I have seen them in the wild, and there is one on the wall at HQ. Fun fact.
So you could evade a high-speed pursuit because you wouldn't be trackable? Is
that's it?
The way I read that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We saw a license plate, but we don't know what it could be.
No idea.
So if only I could look it up somehow.
I wouldn't be surprised if I saw those at Geo Woodstock in Abbotsford.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you get a custom trackable code that matches what your license plate currently is? And then all your license plates would be trackable.
You can do custom codes, but you'd have to do it the other way. You'd have to get a vanity plate of a code that you already had.
Yeah. Bummer. Okay. One more from SB Dave talking about the fast food erasers. He thought they were tokens that erase the calories from eating fast food.
Yeah, I was interested in those.
I want to know where those are. Yeah.
That's really something there. Yeah. Can you imagine, I will have this adorable little thing of chicken nuggets and I shall then erase it. Good plan. If only.
Okay, we have a little bit more news. I don't know if you've noticed, but geocaching events went big in 2025.
So I've heard.
HQ announced that the 25th anniversary of geocaching would include block parties around the world, and they expected a big response. The community surpassed their expectations. Geocachers hosted 122 block parties in 2025. The prior to last year, I should say, only 5,064 geocachers had received the block party icon. Now, I was one of those. And I have to say, I was slightly disappointed that HQ reissued that. I understand. Not everybody got into geocaching when I did. Okay. It's fair.
That was actually during my first hiatus from 2008 to 2011 is when the block parties happened. So I wasn't even geocaching in 2010.
So you didn't have the block party icon prior to that.
That's correct. I mean, we'll get into that later, but yeah.
Even cachers that were active during that time period weren't able to travel to Seattle to get it.
Right. That's the other thing of
I would.
The global.
Yeah, my wife would probably not have let me go.
So I mean, it felt exclusive to have that icon, right? So in case you didn't know, only block parties were hosted by HQ in Seattle between 2011 and 2015. So I think I have what is that, 5? I did all 5 of those.
Wow, that's something.
That is something.
That's That's pretty great. I think I had 2 of them.
CRS 98 had been to 3 of the original block parties. I was vacation for the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was one of my first events. I was just wandering around, kind of struck by like, wow, there is a lot of people out here. Holy moly.
Yeah, actually, between 2011 and 2015, I know I was not doing a lot of traveling except for work, and that was usually to the East Coast.
The first one, where was that held? It was held on a city street.
Fremont? Was it Fremont?
I think it was always just in the plaza right outside.
It wasn't in the plaza. It was nearby the plaza. I can't recall.
Well, when did Geocaching HQ move to their current location in Fremont? I thought it was after 2015. Was I mistaken?
Right, because it was there. I'm flipping back through my memories. I logged the HQ where it is now in 2012.
So maybe 2011 didn't have, that's why it was in a different spot. They didn't have that plaza yet.
That makes sense.
Possible.
And I think the rest were at that plaza. So yeah, Wits End, were you with me at all of those?
I did not make the first one.
Oh, okay.
I know you talked about it. I think it was over by Fremont Studios. Over
I
in that
think
side
so. Yeah.
Not where in the current Fremont location, but the other side of 99 over there.
I can put my lackey hat back on for just a second of like how do we come up with this? We actually asked on Facebook and in the blog, what should we do to celebrate 25 years? And a lot of people said, how's about a block party? Like for those of us who need one. And we're like, that's fun. But then, as you pointed out, all of the issues of like, well, you got to be available on the one time and you got to get all yourself to Seattle. Seattle's not a cheap place to get to.
Right.
And well, so we came up with something else.
Yeah. And I totally get that, it was a huge amount of work for the lackeys to throw this block party year after year after year. And, if somebody's coming to Seattle, I mean, I know many, many international travelers. Well, we've got to go to Seattle. Then we've got to do the Ape Cache. Then we got to go down to Portland. And, well, while we're here, we may as well do this and this and this. And, it became an action-packed week.
Yeah.
You may not want to do that multiple years in a row.
Right. Yeah, I know we had a block party local. We had the Cache in the Bay that happened in San Jose.
Oh,
Unfortunately, that was the day that I was leaving for Joseph, Oregon, so I couldn't attend it. So I had to go to the Going Ape in order to get the block party icon.
Okay.
Yep.
So, okay, we'll go over here to geocaches quickly. She says, I get the exclusivity thing. But as a global game, I love that we extended the opportunity to get that icon last year. And I agree. You took away my bragging rights, and I'm okay with that. I'm a little more humble now.
But it's
than I was.
It says here, I need to read that 37,000 accounts, 37 and change, 37,683 accounts now have the block party icon. And I have to say, that's still pretty exclusive. How many geocachers are there?
3 million plus. And it is. I mean, it wasn't that it was so abundant, like say a community celebration event where anybody could just do the criteria and get the thing. But for those of us who like numbers, if only we knew someone who knew anything about numbers or liked to think about them and talk about them, from 5,000,
I'll come up with someone.
Yeah, if only just think on that. If we could find someone, that'd be great. The 5,000 geocachers up to 37,000 is like it's a 600 more than 600% increase, and then the global distribution of that when we look at like where people say their home chords are is wonderful. It is so when you think about this idea of a global game and having access to a lot of different places, it wasn't perfect. There was not a block party in Asia, so there is new and other opportunities. There wasn't one in Africa. Like there's a whole big world out there that could really where geocaching could grow into. But the huge percentage increase is really exciting. A lot of those people it was their very first big event, and so many first time hosts. It's so sweet to see that everybody really celebrated being together. It's really cool.
Okay, so our research department, I promise we're going to get to our topic tonight. Our
I
research
don't know about that.
though,
Better watch it.
says the 2011 event was in the Fremont Plaza.
Fremont Plaza. I thought so.
Okay.
I thought they were all out there in
I remember it more along it, but there was another, like a street party, a block party going on that geocaching, geocachers intermingled with the first year. Or maybe that was 2010. I don't remember. You know what?
You might have been thinking about the Lost and Found events that were in 2010.
Maybe that was it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I know I didn't.
That's a
get that
whole other
icon.
ball of wax. Just write that down for a whole other episode that we could talk about the
Okay.
Lost and Found events.
Lang, you're not supposed to be looking at the clock. 26 minutes is still our main topic. Okay.
I don't know. I love this. I don't know about anybody else. I'm loving that everybody's getting together.
Yeah. Well, we're here to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the world, whether they have a block party icon or not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, it is your job. Okay, let's keep going. But there are some stats from the big events in 2025, and who better to talk about stats than our resident statistician, Limax?
Okay, here are some fun stats from the big events in 2025. The community set a new record with 143 block parties and mega events, surpassing the previous record of 62 in 2024. There were around 93,000 attended logs on block parties, mega and giga events, compared to the previous high of 48,002 in 2015. Germany, big surprise, hosted the most big events with 33, followed by Czechia with 22. Czechia is an up-and-coming geocaching spot.
You should go check it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Around 15,365 accounts logged more than one block party, mega, or giga event. And a special shout out to Lithuania, who saw its first big event. When all event types are included, there were 70,844 events in 2025, making it the third straight year that the community has hosted a record number. For the first time ever, there were more than 1 million attended logs on events, 1,048,330 in a single year. So why didn't these make the stats show that we did a month ago?
Have to ask the statistician. I don't know.
Yeah,
We ran them recently because we know that people keep drafts. Because if we ran them at the beginning of January, the very last block party was New Year's Eve in Germany. Good,
yeah.
Classic. And so we thought, okay, let's give some people a beat. There are a lot of people who are behind on their drafts. I raise his hand. I call myself out on that. But we want to make sure that it was as accurate as it could be.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Yeah, I know. One of the stats, of course, is how many different geocachers hosted events, which, of course, can be tracked before the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, in order to become a block party, you had to be a mega event, correct?
You had to qualify. So
yes.
you filled out the
300?
application. Yep.
Mhm.
You filled out the application. If you achieved 300 will attends on your event, you could turn left toward block party or turn right toward mega event. And it was totally up to the event host, whatever they wanted to choose for whatever reason. And there were mega events and they had specific reasons why they chose that instead of block party. But and then if an event and two events achieved giga status, and then they had they reached another intersection, was, do we turn left toward sticking with block party or do we turn right and go toward giga? And they both chose giga because, of course.
That's even more exclusive.
Yeah, I had to stop and think if I even had the mega event icon, and actually I do have that. I got the giga event one first, but the mega one I got for the second Caching the Bay, which would have been 2023, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're getting people who, I've attended 3 block parties in 3 different provinces. So you guys, you really got out there.
Yeah,
and I want to mark,
this.
We're at the 30-minute point right now. So let's talk about rekindling your geocaching love.
Why not?
Hey, we know life gets busy, and so does this show. Weather gets wild. And so do our topics. And sometimes your geocaching motivation quietly slips into hibernation. But the love of the game never really disappears. It just needs a nudge, a little inspiration, and maybe a fresh pair of dry socks. So tonight we're exploring how to fall back into love with geocaching, whether you've taken a short break, a long hiatus, or just need a reminder of why this hobby grabbed your heart in the first place. And we've got the perfect guest for that.
We do indeed. Limax is here, and he knows a thing or two about drifting away from caching and finding his way back again. So, burnout, rediscovery, fresh starts, all that stuff. Maybe even a few questionable decisions involving blackberry bushes. It happens.
Oh, it does happen. Yeah. You don't go to a blackberry bush wearing shorts.
Well, you
Only
can.
once.
Yeah, you only do it once.
One
I
time.
know.
Yeah, you don't do
I
it a lot.
actually-
Yeah.
I actually stopped going after a cache one time because I could not find a way around the blackberry bush.
Yeah.
But and knowing a thing or two, it's like I hinted about it earlier. My longest dry streak is over 1,000 days, and it was from 2008 to 2011. I think I'd found my last cache in August of 2008. Didn't find another one until February 2011 when a friend of mine kind of kicked me in the butt and got me going again. And I'm grateful to her for getting me started again with it. Right now, I am going through a bit of a dry streak. The only caches I've gone after recently are for specific goals. I was actually just looking at my car GPS the other day and trying to say, well, when was the last time I actually updated it? Turns out I updated it in the middle of September of last year for my trip to Idaho.
Mm.
And that was actually so I could get, is it Everett County, I think is the name of the county, just east of Boise, where Mountain Home is. I don't remember exactly the name of the county. It's the only E county in Boise, in Idaho. But that was the last time. And then I don't think I did any caches until I think there was a couple of souvenirs I picked up here and there, but that was it. And I know for me, part of it is my new job. I don't seem to have as much free time as I used to have. And when they give you half an hour for lunch, you really can't go out and find a cache and come back in time.
Yeah.
Unless there happens to be one across the street, but I already found that one. But yeah, it's like today, I had to get out of the valley and I went over to the next valley just to do some driving and really had hardly any time before I had to get back. So I couldn't stop and do any caching even then.
Well, sharing, we've got CRS98 says my longest dry streak is 9 days. That's pretty impressive.
I just looked at my stats. My longest consecutive days with a find is 9 days. So
cool.
I am not a streaker. No, that doesn't work for me. But
I remember you had me on a couple years ago when I was streaking for a bit there, and that was I was going after the Iron Bingo Challenge at that point, which I never did complete.
Ooh.
But I was doing quite a bit of that. Yeah, I'm actually looking. It's like my latest activity doesn't show me logging anything for the last 30 days. But it's like, my longest streak is 111 days, and I purposely stopped at 111 because that's a cool number.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
It's
my
11
longest slump is 166 days, but that was back in 2007 after I bought a house.
Oh,
right. And actually, my longest slump was actually 903 days. I thought it was over 1,000. But yeah, my current slump is 41 days.
Yeah, here we go. Caching Kant says his is 205 days.
Yeah.
GSM times 2 says the only reason I'm still caching after 20 years is because I keep changing the aspects of the caching I embrace. And that's one of the things that we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Let's start by saying it's completely normal, okay, to have your geocaching enthusiasm ebb and flow, right? To have a slump, it's okay. Life changes, schedules shift, just as Limax said. And sometimes the idea of hunting a container just doesn't hit the same way as it used to. So It doesn't mean that you failed or you're not a real cacher. It just means you're human and your hobbies evolve with you.
That's one of the great things about geocaching, I think, is that it can evolve with you and you can let things go and pick things up and you're still a geocacher either way. And burnout can kind of come out of nowhere and sneak up on you. And that's totally fine too. Maybe you like did a streak and then it started to feel like a chore and then it turned from being fun challenge into a chore. And or you chased a milestone, like you pushed right because you wanted to get a particular event as your particular milestone. And or
that's a good one. Yeah.
You and that can just burn you right out. Or you can tackle a challenge. Like there's one here in Washington called the Fool's Errand Challenge, and you must do it's an old challenge. It's not publishable now, but you must do the criteria within a month. It's a fool's errand, and it's tough. And depending on which month you start, the criteria is different, and that can really leave you more exhausted than energized if you weren't really prepared for what you jumped into. And sometimes you can also just hit a stretch of like really frustrating DNFs. And it makes you ask yourself why you did this hobby anyway, and why are you spending your days doing this anyway, and why am I out here signing soggy logs or not even finding the soggy logs that I hope to be finding? And whatever that reason happens to be, losing momentum is part of it, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the end of it. It's just a piece of it.
Yeah.
And, I have mentioned this on prior shows on here. We've got a weekly puzzle event out here that's put on by a few people I know, Fizzy Magic being one of them. And the puzzles every week are word puzzles. And tell you the truth, I have just gotten tired of word puzzles. It's like, oh, but it's a different presentation. In its core, it is still a word puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah. We have Caching Cans who said he's done the Fool's Errand Challenge, 150 physical caches in a month, plus a different special criteria each month.
Wow. That is a challenge.
And if that's not the pace that you normally cache at, then it is a stretch.
Yeah.
Go hit a power trail.
Yeah.
And then
Well, let's see. Yeah, I've the highest number of caches I found in 1 month was 125, and that happened to be in August of 2022. I wonder what happened then.
There's only, a few big things going on.
Yeah.
Well, seasons come and go, and the weather does too. And sometimes the weather is just enough to get you out of your geocaching groove. It rains for a week. You say, I'll go next week. Then it rains again. And, here in the Northwest, sometimes it rains again and again and again. And all of a sudden, your geocaching boots, they're just sitting over there in the corner growing moss. Or maybe you've been staring at that same cluster of unfound caches because they're word puzzles or whatever.
Or underwater.
Yeah.
Or underwater. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're just invisible. So it happens. And it doesn't mean that the fun of geocaching is gone forever. No. You can come back. You can rekindle that flame. Limax, what do you think is the most common reason people drift away from caching for a bit?
Well, honestly, in my experience, the flame flickers when caching starts to feel like an obligation rather than an adventure. You're chasing goals instead of joy. It's easy to lose sight of when you started in the first place, but maybe the spark is still there and it just needs a little oxygen. I know for me, a lot of my caching these days is goal driven, and it's the souvenirs that are keeping me going more often than not, or county chasing. I have 2 counties left in California to get, and they're, for at least us, 2 of the hardest counties because they're Eastern Sierras.
Oh yeah.
So, and it's just gonna be a little tough to get them.
Yeah. So if you've lost your love of geocaching, let's talk about some solutions. What's one small way to get back into geocaching?
Well, you could just start with a single cache. Pick something close, simple, no pressures, no goals, and just rediscover that feeling of something being hidden. You know, you don't have to do a 50 cache power trail or even a weekend road
150
trip.
maybe.
What was that?
150 cache power
100
trail.
Or even 150. Yeah, I mean, but
That's
I'm
a
not
lot.
in Idaho, so there are none of those around here. Yeah. No, I little side note. When we were driving up to Twin Falls a while ago. The Artful Fetcher was in the back seat, and she was noticing my car GPS, and she goes, "We're almost Idaho, aren't we?" And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "I can see the power trail."
Feels like we're getting close.
Yeah. I can
Well,
smell.
GSM times 2 says, I think people start geocaching when they have cached out their area and cannot go caching in their day-to-day activities. You know, or,
Yeah.
you know, they have kids and they stop
Mhm.
geocaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's multiple layers to that too of, you know,
Mhm.
I started caching with my kids and now my kids are done caching.
Right.
Or I was caching and then I had kids and then I needed to stop caching.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I know for me, when I first started caching, I started caching in 2004. Between 2004 and 2008, when I took my first big break, I had a total of 60 finds that entire time.
Mhm.
And a lot of that was due to pressure at home, needing to get
Mhm.
home, really couldn't get out on my lunch hour or anything like that. And it was funny because I stayed a premium member that whole time. I'm still a premium member today, even though it's been forever since I've downloaded Pocket Queries. And I still
Yeah.
do Pocket Queries because that's the best way to get them onto my car GPS,
Mhm.
which is my best heads up display rather than CarPlay,
Mhm.
because it doesn't cost as much.
Well, that's true. Doesn't cost anything, right?
Right.
Yeah. You know, CarPlay, you have to have a cell phone with a data connection, you know, and a car that has CarPlay.
Right.
That could be the expensive part right there. But Jeremy says thank you for your subscriptions all these years.
Yes, for sure.
I'm sure Jeremy is very happy with my subscription. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that personal thank you note from Jerry's for how many years I've subscribed.
All right. Well, you were saying that, you know, the magic, it's in the small stuff, really. You don't
Yeah.
have to go out and do that, like you said, 50 cache power trail or 150 caches. You can just enjoy the moment. Go find a cache, like you mentioned that. It's kind of like stretching before you go hiking, right? You don't start with mailbox peak or GC letter before E. You start with just going to the mailbox. I mean, unless your mailbox is up there at the top of a mountain, then that's a whole nother story. But, you know, congratulations on that beautiful view when you go get your mail. But it's probably not. And maybe you can combine geocaching, that one cache you're going to, with something else that you really enjoy or that you're already doing. Maybe you're going to go activate a peak for your ham radio POTA. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just grab a coffee down the street and see the geocache that's tucked under the plant and the flower bed out front. The cache becomes a bonus, not necessarily the mission, and boom, you're back in the game.
Back into it.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Something I
And-
love too is the idea of bringing a friend along. Maybe
yeah.
you've talked to someone about caching, or someone else that's in your circle also mentioned caching, and you think, I haven't done that in a while. And it's even someone who's brand new shows you kind of the wonder of things, and you look at it through their lens and their eyes, and they totally can reset you about what's
Yeah.
fun or what's
Mhm.
interesting, or it reminds you your geosense that still lives within you when they have a hard time, or when you walk right over to where, or you lift a skirt and they didn't know it would lift, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right, I remember when I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so cool the first time. It's like, wait, those
Yep.
move?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Having been
It
an
makes me
electrician,
glad
always
that I
surprised.
got Pipple Bear involved in geocaching. I mean,
Yeah.
she was going along with me on some of these, and she finally said, "You know, I'm going to create an account and just do this with you." She's not as enthusiastic about it as I am. I mean, she is, but she likes doing it with me rather than
Mhm.
by herself. And yeah, we were actually talking about lamppost hides tonight. She goes, "Oh yeah, you just like the squeal when you lift that skirt."
There is that.
It's like,
screech,
I love to hear a squeal when I'm lifting skirts. That's for sure.
I don't think
And
we
on
can
that
say
note.
that on the podcast. For me, one of the things that helps is just to remove all the pressure, right? No stats, no streaks, no treasures, no souvenirs, right? No, I should be doing more. I have to keep up with JT Coffee, those kind of pressures, right?
Right.
Just the joy of opening the app and seeing what's nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to make it easier, choose a cache with a fun description, or what I like to do is a bunch of favorite points. Look for those high favorite
That's
point
it.
ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then you feel that reward right away. You get there and you go, oh, I see why this has a lot of favorite
Like, oh,
points.
this one is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Or, wow, what a view. I didn't know,
Right.
this was here. So,
Mhm.
that's what I do is just like, I haven't found one in a while. Let me find one with a lot of favorite points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What are the kids making these days?
Yeah.
I know for me, it's like I've mentioned it before. It's a sea of blue out here, so
Mhm.
that could be a bit
Mhm.
discouraging.
Mhm.
When you just
Yes.
want to kind of do something just to go out and do it. Yeah, and and actually when caching becomes more of a relaxing routine than a task, the spark comes back naturally.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, sometimes you just need that win. A nice, easy, confident boosting. I found it to remind yourselves why you like the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, preferably not a nano and a guardrail or a key hider for that matter either, unless that's your thing. No judgment. So the takeaway here: start simple, start small, and start with something that feels fun, and the rest will follow. And don't go after one that's on the edge of a cliff that has 2 caches hidden in the same spot.
Hmm. It seems
like
like
it's-
there's a story there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think there's more to that somewhere. We'll put a pin in that. Maybe come back to that in another episode.
That sounds like a FATAS.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe an after show thing. All right. Well, one thing that always seems to reignite the geocaching flame, and that's community. I mean, all the way back in the Garden of Eden, God looked down and said, "It's not good for man to be alone." We were created for community. We were created to do things with other people. So even when your personal motivation dips, the people around you can pull you back in. Like Jesse mentioned, take a friend, take a brand new cacher, take somebody that's never been caching and introduce them to it. That can be a really good way to do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Or you can attend an event if you don't have a person that you can
Yes.
just grab. Maybe you're solo and you're like, well, all of my circle seems to think this is a weird game. They're not interested in wanting to go, but you can go to an event. And we were just talking earlier about how some communities, some little pockets there's tons and tons and tons of events. And sometimes there are none, depending on where you are. That's just not a thing that your community, your specific localized community likes to do. So you can go to one, you can host one if you feel like you can. And sometimes if you go to one, it's usually better to go to one before you host one.
Yeah.
A fun aside, I got a few published because I wanted to host them, and I thought maybe I ought to go to a few. So beforehand I did. And you might walk in at first, and whatever draws you to that event, it can be hard talking to a whole bunch of people who know each other and maybe don't know you, or just in an environment where you're not exactly sure what's going to happen. That can be intimidating. And so picking a place where you are maybe familiar with the restaurant and you're like, if nothing else, I will have good pizza and a good drink, and that's great.
Yep.
And then suddenly, as you sit down with that pizza or your favorite chips and dip, you're swapping stories. You're talking about the cache that you found, and somebody else has found that too. Or they're talking about a cache that you also want to find or have heard about. And so you're planning trips. Maybe someone's starting to talk about a challenge, and you're like, well, that sounds interesting. I didn't know that was a thing that people could do. And then it just snowballs, and it's And you start to get those moments of connection because you have maybe felt like the weirdo when you're like, I do these things by myself and it's hard to keep that momentum. And then you hear other geocachers say, I spent 45 minutes looking for a bolt on a fence. And you're like, same. I have also done that. It feels so normal. And that moment of like, oh, these can be my people.
Yes, right.
Exactly.
Right.
It feels
there's
amazing.
something energizing about being around people who get it, that shared language, that shared weirdness, that shared joy. Community,
Absolutely.
it's huge. Even a small event, a meet and greet at a coffee shop, a CETO, or a flash mob can remind you what you loved about the game in the first place. And you hear someone else's adventure and suddenly you're thinking, I want to do that too.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it's not the event itself, it's the people you meet. GSM times 2 says, reconnect with a friend who you used to geocache with.
Oh, yeah.
And still geocaches. That's the key right there.
That's the key, yeah.
Right.
Still likes it.
Or maybe you both get back out there for the first time. It's like, I haven't done this for a while either. Let's get out and do it together. Yeah.
Yeah. GSM times 2 also says, at events, I put myself in the role of spotting the new person and welcoming them to the group. It also motivates me.
That's such a superpower.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
JT Coffee, you're exactly right. It's hard to break in. You're like, well, there seems to be, 3 little clicks of circles of people here talking.
Yeah.
I don't know which one I fit in. So I'm just going to sit over here with my pizza and my drink and, maybe somebody will say hi.
Now everybody's got their head bent down over the latest puzzle of the week.
Right.
Sometimes, yeah.
And it's such a wonderful opportunity. I'm so glad Scott takes that opportunity to walk over to someone and saying, I'm not sure I know who you are. If we've met, remind me. If we haven't, tell me who you are. And shows you the way to join the group. And that's such a great, wonderful thing to do for the new people.
CRS98 says, the second event I hosted was to celebrate my 500th DNF. I had a ton of people attend that event.
Oh, I did not attend that one. I got a DNF on that one.
Yeah.
I think I attended that one.
But there's some great stories
there. You go.
There.
You can host an event.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. And it is great when you host an event, people who do come to you, and it does help break the ice, even though it feels like you're very much in the spotlight. It is, you don't necessarily have to be the one to start the conversation, but you are the one that people are finding, and that can really help.
Yeah. Well, and they break that cycle, that pressure cycle where you just like, get the cash, move on, get the next, sign the next log, power trail kind of mentality. You can take a minute, you can stop, you can breathe, you can have that pizza and hoppy beverage and,
just not like those people that go event hopping.
Yes, that kind of hoppy beverage. Yes,
you could still do that. Yeah,
I think their hoppy beverage is a Red Bull. It really makes you hop.
Make you hop. It gives you wings.
I thought it made you fly, but okay.
Gives you wings.
Maybe it's a monster. I don't know.
The wings that I grew weren't big enough for this big old boy to fly, so I can just hop. But and like you mentioned, somebody's going to show up and have this wild story that just rekindles that spark and goes, I got to get back out there. There's some great stories out there, great experiences to be had. And then all of a sudden you're hooked again.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes, even if you're like, sometimes events can be trying something new. And that's really cool. But you don't have to. If that sounds like a not fun, kind of scary for you, even just trying something new in geocaching itself can be a total game changer. Like if your motivation is feeling low because you've been finding kind of the same type of thing or having the same kind of experience, it can be stepping outside your routine, like trying an earth cache. Or trying a puzzle. Puzzles can be really hard. I remember that was a big barrier for me. And I had a year goal once of like, I'm going to change my attitude about puzzles. Because like you said, Limax, there's a ton of puzzles out here. And I was working on a streak and I thought, I just have this absolutely like immediately know outlook on puzzles, and I really need to change that. Otherwise, I'm not going to be finding many caches.
Mhm.
And so just reshaping, reframing your attitude, or just exploring even a new park. I've never been there. Oh, look, there's some caches. Rather than aimlessly wandering, I'll go find those things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
I know for
variety
me,
really helps.
yeah, I know for me it's
Mhm.
variety of puzzles. I mean, I won't
Yeah.
harp on that too much, but I want to find that puzzle again that really sparks that interest in me to actually really want to solve it, rather than
Yeah.
trying to just
Yeah.
look at a word list or,
Mhm.
crossword, was it the crossword solver?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and remember, Pi Day's coming up,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
March
it is.
14th.
Oh, yeah.
If you
Get
can
those
solve
puzzles.
15 puzzles, you've got some time
14.
to work on them.
Yep.
Yeah.
14.
Oh,
The
14,
15th can
sorry.
be your emergency backup puzzle in case you
There
DNF
you go.
something.
Solve at least 14 and then get out there and find them on the Pi Day weekend.
Yeah.
And earn a souvenir. Maybe that'll be enough. We have GSM times 2 that says, I've been motivated by the Earth Cache bingo promoted by the YouTuber All Things Earth Cache. That must be Land Monkey in disguise.
Probably.
You know, it was Scott. I just saw Scott in real life at Omega, and I looked that up, and I am working on it too. I have a whole doc going of all the different squares and all the different things I've been doing. It is pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know. Well, I mean, I've got a lot of puzzles solved because, of course, of the weekly event. I did quit attending that, but almost every single one of them would actually go out after the event to go find the cache. I
Mhm.
wouldn't, because I had someplace else to be afterwards. And now I've got this whole backlog. I could just, go check them off. And it's like, I've got at least 20 puzzles in the area that I have solved. And it's been at least 20 weeks since the last time I attended one of their events. So it's like, I got another 20 I could solve if I really
know what
had
you're
the motivation to.
in the middle of March.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question from Gia, Limax and all. What inspires you to work on a puzzle? I'm trying to get better at placing them.
For me, it's a good hook.
Mm-hmm.
It really is a good hook. I mean, a good story or just something interesting. Now, I'm more of a numbers person, so for me, the mathematical puzzles are a bit more interesting. Actually, some of the old programming puzzles we used to have to do in this area, they've kind of moved away from that because they go, you don't want to cache in Silicon Valley because you all need to have a degree in computer science in order to do them.
Yeah.
There were some of those, and some that I was actually able to solve with some major help. But for me, it's a good hook. I remember I did one years ago that was based on the tense logic puzzle. And it was talking about geocachers who were all needed to camp near a tree, but didn't want to be next to one another because they wanted to be the first to find. And
okay.
Yeah. And that was an interesting approach to it. It was, like I said, it was a good story. And then some of the not Nurkabi, I cannot remember the name of the puzzle. It's the one where you had the numbers on the side on the top and the side that said how many squares were filled in that row. And you would sometimes, you could create designs with that. Now, something like a magic eye, there's too many online solvers for that these days. I used to be able to get them to work. It's very difficult. Nonogram, yes. Brylang.
There we
it's
go.
A nonogram. That's the word I was trying to think of. I had the right first letter.
So GSM times 2 just said, I decided to change my attitude and decide to solve 3 easy puzzles. I couldn't solve any of them. That was discouraging.
Yeah. And
Sometimes
easy
it's
is so
thinking.
subjective, right?
Right.
Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. And, so I don't like the ones where I feel like I have to get into the head of, the CO that hid this.
Right.
Logic puzzles I love. I can work around those. And, they often say, well, it's, look in the title. That's going to give you, hopefully, like the type of cipher or, at least get you started.
Yeah. Those are a lot better.
Yes, sometimes no.
What are those called? It's not monkey puzzles. It's
that's a tree.
Yeah, there is a term for it, where
The
you
land
actually have
monkey
to be able
puzzle.
to get in this person's head in order to be able to figure out how to solve
Yeah.
it.
Read my mind.
Monkey logic, or
Monkey see, monkey do.
it's not fuzzy logic, because that's actually
What about
a
fizzy
thing.
logic?
Huh?
Fizzy logic.
Fizzy actually is very good about doing his puzzles.
Mhm.
I will have to say, I mean, some of them are more difficult than others. I know when he was doing the Venona stuff, those were meant to be solved by a hive mind, by a group,
Mhm.
and I would sit on the sidelines and watch the brains go to work with that and say, "Oh yeah, I'll go along for the find." So
I just heard about some of those puzzles. That sound
they
so
are
hard.
monstrously difficult, and
Yeah.
we actually had a chat group for a while, and now there's a Discord server for it.
Same
Yeah.
idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same
Same
idea.
idea, yeah. I know the last time it happened, I was out, I was convalescing from back surgery, and so I had somebody drive me to one of them, so
There you
I
go.
could get it.
Nice.
There you go. There's some
Just
teamwork.
get you back out on the trail. You know, I know it's getting late already, but I know we also started late. So let's talk a few more minutes. Throw a few more things out there, and let's talk style,
Mhm.
right? I don't know anything about style, but sometimes changing your caching style can make a huge difference. If you usually cache solo, go with a friend. If you use a cache with a group, try going solo. If you're a city cacher, go out for a woodsy hike, or vice versa. Sometimes you just see the game from a new angle when you change things up a bit like that.
Oh yeah. Geocaching can be such a buffet of experiences, and it's easy to forget how many options are actually on the table. When you try something new, you give yourself a chance to rediscover the parts of the game that made you smile. And who knows? You might stumble onto a favorite new type of cache or favorite place.
Yeah.
That sense of discovery is what keeps the flame burning.
Right.
And actually, I just revisited one of my favorite places recently that I had found via geocaching, and it was nice. I mean, this was the San Joaquin National Cemetery, and it was just me and the groundskeepers, because it was early enough in the day that there were no services yet.
Wow.
So yeah,
Cool.
and I got to go exploring, and I got to see how many open spots they still have, which was in itself kind of an interesting, fascinating thing.
Yeah. One of the powerful ways that I've found to fall back in love with geocaching is to hide a cache.
Yeah.
Right.
There's something incredibly satisfying about picking that perfect spot, or choosing, or even crafting the right container. And then imagining somebody's smile on their face when they find it, right? It shifts your mindset from what do I have to find to what can I create? And honestly, that creative spark alone can reignite your passion for the game. And I know in this area, there are several hiders that don't even care about finding. They just want to create.
Right. And there's a lot of people who have never hidden before. And like hiding a cache taps into a whole different aspect.
Yeah.
It's like the other side of a coin. You're a finder, and then you become a hider. And you get to be almost like a storyteller. You can kind of help curate people's experiences. You're crafting this moment for someone else, either a clever, cool container that you like, a scenic viewpoint that you like, or a puzzle that makes them think or shows them something new. And that when that first found it log comes in, it's like this jolt of electricity. If it's a puzzle, you're like, oh good, somebody can find this. Somebody can solve it. And then the most wonderful thing that hiders get back from being a hider are fun logs. And you read those found it logs and people's experiences of adventure, or just the thing that they were able to experience by your own creation, is such a cool way to connect with the community and contribute to something really meaningful.
You get to be the dungeon master.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get to choose your own adventure.
I completely agree with that. It's like, I always look forward to new finds on the one cache that I have hidden. I mean, I used to have two, and we won't talk about the second one. But I mean, the fact that so many people have had great experiences at this, and that has racked up so many favorite points for the number of finds it has. It feels good to actually have that quality cache.
Yeah.
And then you get that TFTC
Yeah. I haven't gotten
Really?
one of
Come on,
those.
guys.
I did get one person that was being grumpy about it not having a solution checker on a multi-cache. It's like, okay, this is not that difficult a multi-cache.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. And, hiding can also reconnect you with the heart of geocaching, discovery, creativity, and community. When you place a cache, you're inviting others to experience that place or idea that matters to you. And if you're contributing to the game in a way that makes it feel personal and rewarding, every log that comes in, whether it be a simple TFTC or a long story, becomes a reminder that you help create a moment of adventure for someone else. And actually, I remember, Chris, do you remember the first glow logs I contributed?
Let's say I do.
Those were all stories based on caches that Basso Contour hid a long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't even remember what the cache, what the mechanical mind or whatever it was called anymore. But yeah, I was crafting stories for every single one of those. It was mainly to make Basso Contour laugh.
Well, have you guys found old geocaches with the original log still in them?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Love those.
When
And you
people
see
would
the,
write about the day.
paragraphs. Maybe they take
Mhm.
up an entire page of here's what it took for me to get here today.
Yes.
And now we just sign a couple of initials, maybe a date, and then we fill it out online. And I kind of miss that. Right. There was a cache around here many years ago. It was everyone was to add a part of an ongoing story.
Yes.
You can add a sentence, you could add a paragraph, and it created this group story. And I thought that was a lot of fun, but you had to do it in the physical log.
Oh, I should
and
recreate that. How fun that is.
Yeah, they had one of those in Massachusetts that I'd found like that. And I know Ford's Folly that I've talked about in the past. There were actually paragraphs written in that one also. In fact, when Matherio and I went back and I found it for the second time, she found it for the first time, that there was that original logbook and what I had written back then. It's like, oh wow, I actually wrote quite a bit in this. And it was ironic because I think I did find it on my wife's birthday. I wasn't celebrating with her. I was on the other side of the country.
Well, and we're talking about hiding caches. It can just be fun.
Yeah.
It's just something different to do and get out there. And as you've already said, getting those logs back that most of the time are fun to get and read. Some of the short ones in the comments are not so fun, but yeah, let's do that. So, and if you've never hidden a cache, get out and do it. That's what I'm saying.
100%.
And if you have, hide some more and go out and maintain what you've got. And sometimes you'll have to hunt for it, just like you're a newbie cacher because somebody put it back in the wrong spot.
But we won't talk about how many times they rearranged the shelves in the library since I hid the cache originally.
Oh, well, that was a fun show.
Yeah.
We've got so much going on in the chat that I'm sorry I'm not going to get to it all.
There's
guys,
some
thank you
great
so
conversations going there.
I know.
So if you're listening on audio, go over to YouTube and check out the
chat.
The
There's
chat,
inspo in there
It's
and
fantastic.
great plans.
There's a lot of love. We're talking about geocaching love, but in the chat, there's actual love for each other, right? They're supporting, they're helping, they're helping people move to greatness. So folks, thank you for that. We appreciate it. And listeners, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Caching in the Northwest. That's right. And I'd like to take a moment and thank Land Sharks, Cachely, and Tourism Valemount. They're our corporate Denali level sponsors. Landsharks.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online. They ship online orders daily. Cachely is the geocaching app for iOS. You can get it at cachely.com. And whether you're seeking outdoor thrills or a peaceful retreat, Valemount awaits you. Oh, wait, I think that's me. We want to thank our faithful Denali level supporters. That is Landsharks, Cachely, Tourism Valemount, Cool Cow Cachers, Hawaiian Maile, Alondro, and Retired Guy. If you want to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link somewhere on that geocaching.com website.
That's right.
Geocaching.com website.
Cachingandw.com website.
There you go.
It's all about geocaching
It is in the Northwest.
in the Northwest. Yeah,
All right. Well, I'd like to thank Katie Quest,
Caching Cans.
You Talks to Rocks.
B. Pendragon,
Logwork.
LG 9000.
Alan,
Lost Ken.
Mnerv.
and Teus,
The Terrible Tees.
Geokaren.
and W. Cats,
Mountain Bike.
Camp Clan.
Seebeck Tribe.
Wet Coaster.
Limax.
Hey, I know him. GSM ×2. Great in the chat tonight. Thanks.
You, Dak.
Gundark 2000.
J-Car.
Boomer 365.
New one. Starcasher with the K.
Whidbey Island the Gal.
Subway Mark.
Peach of Wa.
Flagman.
Just Carlo from Canada.
Real. Specifically, definitely Canada.
Yeah.
Railroad.
Dora Moore.
Kid Vegas 19.
Just finding our way.
Someone named JT Coffee. She's got notebooks.
Geobirder.
Green words.
Trexer.
Another new supporter. Fear the Tubas.
Geocaches. I know her.
Yeah, I bet her too. Genies.
Hey, active in the chat, CRS 98, or he might fear the Twinkies.
Something like that.
Oh, yeah, I
Really
think I got
throwing
that
me
messed
off,
up.
Cliff.
65
That's
cents
the
a Twinkie.
username. Korsgat.
Keats 94.
Skyhawker.
Gas station tuna.
And wrapping it up with another recent addition, JR and Juju. Thank you so much. I think they also sent in a glow recently. So thanks for that. Limax, thanks for being a guest once again. You're becoming a frequent flyer here. If people want to reach out and ask you something number related, what's the best way to do that?
The best way would actually be through the geocaching messenger. And yes, I do check it every so often.
It pops up. It's pretty easy to keep track of who's
Yeah.
contacting you on that thing.
Yeah.
I like it. Limax, thank you so much. Now we're going to have to determine how many episodes you've been on and your total speaking time during those episodes. What percentage of the episode were you talking? So,
Well, that's a good question. At least, yeah, I didn't steer us off topic this time.
no.
Just took us a while to get to the topic.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
That's a whole different matter.
Whole other issue. Yeah.
That's right.
Folks, I hope that you're experiencing a little bit of traffic on your commute and that you get through this podcast on your commute since it's a little bit longer. We want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. So if you like the show, please click the Patreon link on the cachingandw.com website. Better yet, share your ideas for things that we can talk about, right? I mean, we need ideas. This was an idea. So share your ideas and we'll talk about them. If you like the vibe, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review. If you were in a restaurant, you would tip. If you were in a live audience, you would clap. But since you're on a podcast, leave us a free, fast, fabulous, fantastic 5-star review. Of course, you can call into 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask us a question, or send us a Valentine any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingandw.com. Join us every Thursday night. That's tonight. 7 p.m. Pacific. That was an hour and 13 minutes ago for a live show and chat. The show is produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, Jay Kennedy, and Brian Lang. It's licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2026 by Chris Umfenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for. Oh, I didn't hit it.
The
There it is.
show.
I tapped it, but it wasn't enough, and there's a slight pause, and I wasn't sure.
Once more with feeling.
Yes,
After show.
Yeah, you need better feedback on those buttons.
I must. Let's see. I think we have some FTAS.
I remember hearing about some analog FTAS.
I have my analog FTAS. Oh, yeah. Oh, a ping by a listener.
Yeah,
Wow.
so 69 cents the Twinkie, Fear the Twinkie, or CRS 98. Says we got
Again,
pinged
like
by a listener
breaking
to the
my
show
brain.
who was catching up on old shows and asked me about the show where I talked about my New Mexico adventures.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Wow.
Way to dive deep, new listener.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is a very deep dive.
That was prior. No, was that? No, that was after Geo Woodstock last year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
last year.
Well, you're right. The last year.
Yeah.
Right.
Wet Coaster says the worst squeal lifting I ever heard was at the bottom of a very tall flagpole. The cover was almost a meter across.
Oh.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Piffle Bear and I, speaking of flagpoles, Piffle Bear and I went after the one where the flagpole is at, where the top of the flagpole is at sea level, down in Southern California.
Wow.
And unfortunately, the day we were there was a birthday party going on. And so we were able to look up and see where the cache was, but there was absolutely no way we could get it because there was too many kids, and they were noticing us looking up at the ceiling. In fact, when we were leaving, they were all looking up and saying, "What are they looking at up there?" So, and it turns out I wouldn't have even had the right Todd anyway. Nothing I had was long enough to get to where it even was hidden.
GSM times 2 wants to know who's caught up on all the treasures.
What's a treasure?
We're gonna have a show about that coming up.
Future show. We'll have to talk about that. Yeah, for sure.
I say treasures are overrated, but that's me.
And that is fair and valid. All opinions are fair and valid. They are, I am up to date on them. I'm behind on my logs. So if you can't currently see other people's statuses or collections, and so
in that case, I'm caught up.
Yeah. It's like I could say whatever I want and no one can verify. But I know that I have achieved what I need to do to collect everything, but my drafts. I have so much homework to do. I went to the Yuma Mega and I went to Arizona another trip, and there was so much going on that I'm just so far behind on my drafts. But I'll catch up.
I'm not one for doing drafts, but I started when we had all these different treasures of different levels. Like, I can't log all these because I got to make sure I've got the right group selected, and it became a task of that.
That's part of the reason why I don't even bother with treasures, is because it's like, I thought I qualified. Oh no, it did it for this other one instead, or whatever. It's
you should try
messy,
again.
It's too convoluted.
Yeah, that was very annoying. And I watched people they would have a spreadsheet. Okay, we got this one, so we pause, and then we move this one around, and then and then we log this one, and then we go back, and that's all gone. It is all different now, so that if it gives you a treasure, if the cache has a treasure in it, and you don't have to have anything selected or ordered or anything else like that, and you'll get the treasure that you are owed.
We're really long, but that brings up so many questions I want to ask on the back end. I didn't think they could do that because it took too much processing power, but we'll talk about it later.
Figured out a way. Yeah.
Nice.
So, talking quickly, we want to make it a task really quickly about the one where I found two caches at the same spot. That was on our trip to Joseph last year. We had popped up to find, get a couple caches to Wallowa County, since that's the county we were in. Found one that was found by JT Coffee and Geocaches, who had just popped down into the state right quick just to get that one, because it's the best way to get it. But we were at the border of Oregon and Washington there, which is basically on the side of a cliff. It was so Piffle Bear could get Washington, because she had not been in Washington since she started geocaching. So, and it gave me the southeasternmost county of Washington too, which is kind of nice.
Which I still don't have.
Yeah, but the one that is right there, it's actually at the physical border, but it's considered being in Washington. There were two containers at location. One was under the guardrail, which was not the one that was given a hint. The other one was at the far side of that sign, which was right next to the cliff. And that's where the container was, underneath a rock. Well, I had found both of them, but I made sure to stay. It was one of those things where I'm glad I've got long arms, because I would not have gone over that guardrail at that location. That was just way too dangerous a spot.
Okay, here's an interesting question from Geocaches.
Oh,
To
brother.
Brylang and to JT Coffee. When can I get my lost and found attribute?
Who let her into the chat?
Okay, never mind. We'll move on.
That was back. So we referenced that in the beginning from the lost
Yeah.
and found events that were in 2010. 35 events in 2010 were considered lost and found events, and they had the lost and found attribute. So you had to attend one of those events in order to have that attribute on your stats, and you can only really see it if it is present or missing on Project GC. But if you log in there and you can see all the attributes that you have or don't have and how many of each, and it is many people's one sole remaining empty spot,
Yeah.
myself
Mhm.
included. Like, it's been my last one for a long time. And it is, we've figured out ways to bring assorted things back at HQ. And now that, because it is such a glaring hole, and on Project GC, how it's arranged is it's the center. So if you are missing it, it is like this glaring hole in the middle. And it's like, oh, but so that's becoming a hot topic now. It was, how can I get a block party? Are you ever going to bring those back? Yada, yada. Now it is, how do I get me a lost and found attribute? And so it's not a conversation. It's not the top priority, but it's talked about every once in a while.
I'm trying to remember. Are challenges allowed to have based on are there challenges allowed based on attributes?
Yes, you can
Okay.
pick one attribute. That's a
Okay.
recent update. But yeah, if you can have a bunch of criteria, but if you choose attributes, just choose one attribute.
Okay. And that's what I was trying to remember. It's like, yeah, no challenge. The guidelines for challenge caches keeps getting updated, and so I don't know what the latest is.
Latest is just the one. Just pick one. Yeah. FATAS, challenge attributes.
Love it. Scott says my last two Scott in Ojai videos. Owavi videos
Oh, wow, jive.
are about filling in Earth Cache bingo squares.
Nice.
Love that.
So fun. Hey, folks, thank you so much. We've had a lot of fun tonight. I hope you got a little inspiration out of all this. And if you did, come back next week. And until then, get out and get caching